answer time. The Try These A wants you to find the length of CB. Now, this one's pretty tricky. One, I didn't work any of these. There were no examples like this in your book. So if you missed this one, don't feel bad. It's really tricky. So I hope that you separated the two triangles. If you didn't, you might have run into a problem right here. The smaller triangle, we are missing the side CB, so we call that X. That's what I called it because that's what I'm finding. The base is 20. Now this other side, the corresponding side to X, they gave us 12, and I hope you didn't just put 12 because 12 is only the distance from A to B. We need the distance from A to C. Well, remember we called this X right here. And since we called that X, my pen's messing up. Since we called that X, the length of side AC right here is going to be the 12 plus whatever we get for the value of X. So that's why I have 12 plus X right here. There's also a good chance that when you get your proportion written, and again, this is not the only proportion, you could have done 20 on the bottom, 35 on the top, 35 over 20, then you would have had 12 plus X over X. It should have all worked out to be the same. But when you cross multiplied X times 35, you get 35X. That I expect you to get. But this is the part where I'm afraid you might have messed up because that 20 right there has got to be distributed to both the 12 and the X. So if you did not multiply 20 times 12 and 20 times X to get 240 plus 20X, then you messed up. And then I ran out of room, so over here I just subtracted 20 from both sides to get the X's all on the same side of the equal sign, divided both sides by 15, and that's where I got the value of 16 for CB. And by the way, we could do that because of angle-angle similarity. I put it in my picture right here. They gave me angle B and angle A congruent, and then you have to know that C is congruent to itself. So before I could do any of this, I had to establish angle-angle similarity. Okay, now over here, I also have angle-angle similarity. They gave me a pair of angles right here. That are congruent, and then by just visual inspection, I can get the vertical angles that are congruent. So just be very careful right here and make sure you get your ratio set up right. 22 over 38, I chose to go with the small angle, small triangle measurements on the top and the big triangle measurements on bottom. So that's why I put 22 over 38 and XY because it's from the small triangle over 30. That's going to be the place where a lot of people mess up. You're going to flip these two. Cross multiply and divide and you get XY equals 17.4. On the check your understanding, Jorge messed up. His proportion would have been okay if he knew for sure that he had similar triangles, but he doesn't. He doesn't have enough information. All the information that he has is a pair of angles. This is not two sides proportional because we only have one ratio. We don't have a complete other ratio, so we can't check that they are similar by the sides. So one pair of angles is not enough information. So that's what Jorge messed up on. Now, problem number 4, are they similar? Of course. If you've got two angles that are 60, then the third angle is 60. That means it's an equilateral triangle. All equilateral triangles are similar. And then if this one side is 21, then all sides on that triangle are 21. Part B, I did make sure that it was side angle, side similarity before I started working it. Notice in this triangle right here, I've got 12, which is the smallest size, the smallest side, and then 15 is the medium side length, and then 16 is the biggest one. So when I went over here, I put 12 on top. I made sure that of these two, I picked the smaller number. So 12 and 32 have to be the corresponding parts, the corresponding sides that should make a ratio. And then 15 is the middle length. So 40 is going to be the middle length. This side right here is going to be the longest because it's opposite the angles that are congruent. So if the longest side is opposite that angle, then the longest side of this one's going to be opposite that angle. So I checked to see if they were proportional. They both reduce down to 3/8. If you're not sure about that, then you can also multiply 12 times 40 and then multiply 32 times 15, and they come out to be the same answer. So then you have a choice. You can use this ratio, you can use this ratio, or you can use this ratio to set up your proportion in order to find x. I chose 3/8 simply because it's smaller numbers, and smaller numbers gives me better or easier multiplication. So 8 times 16 divided by 3 is where I get 42.7. And then the last one is Clarissa wants to measure another ravine. And then she wrote this proportion. Is it right? Absolutely not. She did what a lot of people are going to do, and she flipped one of her ratios. So on the left triangle, because I can't really tell which one's bigger, which one's smaller. They have numbers that are all pretty much the same size. So I distinguished the two triangles between the one on the left and the one on the right. The one on the left, the side that's between the 67 and the 55-degree angle, that's the side that I put on top. That number came from the left triangle. The side that corresponds to that one between 55 and 67 is the 10. So the left triangle numbers are on top, the right triangle numbers are on bottom. She put 8.75, which is a right triangle number, on top and EC on bottom. She flipped them upside down. This is what it should be. You flip it upside down. Now you cross multiply. You multiply 9 times 8.75 and get 7.9. No, you multiply that and you get 79, and you multiply those two and you get 10 times E, divide both sides by 10, the final answer is 7.9. I know I just went fast. I'm not even going to pretend like I didn't, but remember, you can hit pause. So hit pause, go back, rewind, listen to it again, let me say a couple of words, hit pause, rewind. You can go as fast or as slow as you want to. Okay, thank you for watching my channel. I will do another video for what's the next section? 18-2.